Welcome, ladies. It's good to see you on the Zoom screen. Look at Olivia Olivia's trying to get herself all situated and orientated because, you know, she is forever the PR person. Oh, look, now she's getting a light. Wow, she's really going fancy. And y'all don't know how lucky you are, because I, as a personal rule, don't ever use video when I'm recording on a Monday, because this is what Monday looks like.
This is what Monday looks like.
This is what Monday looks like for me.
Well, and then I specifically ran the puppies in circles. I fed them a half an hour early. I gave them a towel and drugged them around the living room, and they're being quiet now. And I'm just keeping my fingers crossed it's because they are exhausted and sleeping, and not that they are chewing a hole in something.
That's good. This is good.
Yeah, I wish, because you both have dogs, I wish somebody had warned me
Right here.
that puppies are not easy.
No.
Because I've never had dogs.
Oh.
So then to take on two puppies that are like, we think they're somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 or 3 months old.
Oh my. Oh my. Yeah, dogs are hard enough. And to have never had dogs and to start with 2 puppies, holy mackerel.
Yeah. It's a sad story. I mean, that's what and you guys will appreciate this because you do the show with me so often. So Lavinda from the Winchester SPCA was on the show with me, it's probably been a month and a half ago. And we were talking about just how crappy it is living in a pandemic world. And so I said to her, if you ever get any puppies, call me and I will come and give you another radio show if I can record it with puppies crawling all over me. That's what I need at this stage of the pandemic. Somehow she took that to mean call Janet because she wants to adopt a puppy. So I get this email that says, hey, Janet, we have puppies and we're looking for a foster. Do you think you'd be interested in fostering? And she sent me these pictures of these 2 puppies.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay, well, foster's kind of a way to ease in. We can kind of decide. We don't have the guilt if we have to give them back because they're just too much. So yeah, I think we'll do foster. So I showed Tim the pictures and I said, I'm going to the SPCA on Friday at 2 to pick one of them up. Which one of them do you want? And we went back and forth and he still couldn't decide. So I just thought, well, I'll just decide when I get there. So I get there at 2:00 on Friday and then he comes rolling. Had no idea he was going to meet me there. So we go inside and the woman at the SPCA starts explaining that there were 6 of these puppies in a litter. They were left overnight at the SPCA and they had fostered them all out. 4 of them did not make it. So these were the only 2 that were left, and they had a foster home, but they were getting to be too much for their owner or for their foster parent, which I think was a little bit of an older person. So it was just too much for them to handle. So at that point, Tim looks at the woman and says, well, then we'll take them both because we can't separate them.
No.
And on the surface, I'm like, well, you're right. And then this from the man who leaves every morning at 7:00 and is gone until 5:30 and a lot of work between the pooping and the peeing and the chewing and the.
I'll never have a puppy again. No, I'd rather take an old rescue dog that's got some.
See, that's what I should have done. I should have gone the other way and told Lavinda, hey, if you got a dog that's only got a year or 2 left in it, let me know, because that's what I'm looking for.
Much longer than that. My cat, I look at her all the time and I'm like, how old are you again? You're like about 12.
So yeah, that's how we ended up with 2 puppies, and that was 2 weeks ago this past Friday.
Oh my. Oh
and
my.
Now the argument back and forth is, do we keep them? Do we keep one? If we keep one, which one? We can't decide which one. He thinks we should keep both. And again, he leaves every morning at 7:00. So
they are better though with a partner, like a companion.
They are.
And this is the one thing that I've heard is that when they can play with each other, it's a whole lot easier than you having to entertain them all the time.
Yes.
Yeah, and one can actually probably train the other too. Like they kind of stick with.
One of them is doing really well, at least on the puppy pads. The other one just does not give 2 shits. Well, he does, but he does it anywhere he wants in the house. So that's the problem.
What are they?
And that was the other thing. So they really don't have any idea. All Lavinda knows is that they're large breed dogs.
Oh,
Okay.
so big boys
And
too.
so that was the other realization I had this weekend. So I'm looking and I'm thinking, okay, large breed. I'm thinking, lab, maybe a golden retriever. To me, okay, that's a manageable size. I've always joked that if we ever got a dog, it would be a real dog because I don't want a dog that fits in my purse. That's just not my thing. I go on the AKC to look and see what's considered a large breed. And oh, no. Labs and retrievers are considered medium size. Freaking Burmese mountain dogs, Great Danes, Airedale Terriers. And I am like, holy, we're going to need a bigger house.
No.
But
I think you
has a Great Dane. Oh, and a Corgi and like a little fat beagle. So the combination is very cute, but he jokes that the Great Dane is only a good Dane because he's like a different kind of breed, I guess American, and they're stockier versus the British, vice versa. So he's kind of stumpy. So he's only a good Dane. But
is it true that the size of their paws is the size of their paws? So you can tell from looking at a puppy's paws how big it's really going to get? Because this is what Tim keeps telling me, that it's not going to be nearly as big as we think because they do have pretty good sized paws, but they're not huge like you'd expect on a Burmese mountain dog.
So it's a pretty good indicator, I think, of how big your dog is going to be. If the paws are sort of super disproportionate to the size of them now, then they've got a lot of growing into those paws plus more. But I mean, if their paws are sort of proportional to where they are now, like I think that you're probably safe if their paws aren't enormous, like
No,
they
they're
look
not.
goofy, clumsy like compared to their body.
Yeah, they look like they belong at the end of their legs.
Okay.
More or less.
Yeah, sometimes when you see...
Yeah, so they end up being a lot smaller than, I think vets usually go bigger than they are. Like they are, when they, not just the vets, but, they typically err on the side of, it's going to be really big, and then you're prepared.
Yeah.
It turns out to be like a dachshund.
Oh, yeah. So if anybody ever breaks into my computer or my phone and goes and looks at Google searches, all they're going to find is why do puppies eat grass? Why do puppies eat dirt? How often should I feed my puppy? What kind of food should I feed my puppy? How often should my puppy poop? There is nothing in my Google searches that is not somehow puppy related from the last 2.5 weeks because I knew nothing.
Yeah.
You have children though, right? You've kept a human alive.
Yeah, but they were easy. I mean, the only perk that I have seen so far to dogs versus kids is that I had to go out last week and I could put the dogs in the crate and leave. I never would have been able to get away with that with Josh.
Yeah, that's true.
But I could do that but other than that, at least kids wore diapers. They didn't sit in a play yard and just whine for no apparent reason whatsoever other than they're in this play yard.
Wow.
Yeah. So and he's 26. Do you know how long it's been since I've even had to deal with that? So yeah, such is my life. You can hear them in some of the radio shows. You can hear them because they're in the living room and I've got a baby gate up. So sometimes they'll hear me and then they'll come to the gate and they'll start barking or whining. And in some of the radio shows, you can kind of hear them in the background.
You might as well give in because we know you're going to keep both. So
I was going to say that's pretty much been my assessment from the beginning of this conversation is that you now are the proud owner of 2 dogs.
Yeah. And
Yes.
I'm starting to resign myself to that. But at the same time, I'm thinking, okay, if that's going to be the case, I need some therapy. I need either some therapy or I need a dog whisperer for me, not necessarily for them, because I need to figure out how to get my life back and how to get a schedule and do what I need to do without worrying and stressing over these puppies all day. I haven't put a radio show podcast up on the website in a week. Nothing from last week is up on the website yet because I don't have 20 minutes all at one time to do anything. I'm losing my mind.
Right on.
This should be bourbon.
they're
This
worth
should
it.
not be coffee. This should be bourbon.
Hey, we can't see you. You do what you got to do over there.
Right. All right. So what are we talking about today? Grilled cheese and tomato soup, obviously.
I'm about it. It's this Saturday, so tickets are we're done selling tickets. So
Oh, wow.
Yep, we well in the past 2 years we've sold out a week. Also, am I just rolling? Well, how does this go?
Well, we'll start the radio show in a minute. So anything you want to go ahead and tell me now that I can use to ask you questions about
Sure.
later is always
Okay.
good.
Yeah, we pretty much stopped. So the past 2 years we sold out a week ahead, and so this year I just stopped it today. so the restaurants have time to order. We have 9 eateries. It has fluctuated from 11 to 8 to 10 to now 9. So I'm gonna take 9. I'll take that as a win. So, and I actually got Richard and SVGC coming over here to do the catering truck as one of my tasting spots. So the golf club is going to be in the house. I did a little guilt trip for them. I was like,
nice.
More people, please.
And just because you can't get a ticket doesn't mean you can't come out and enjoy the day. So I can ask you that on the air. And that doesn't mean that people, that they may still have grilled cheese or tomato soup if it was normally on their menu anyway, later in the day, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, the restaurants, you can go to them.
Okay.
They're open for lunch and all that. The wine garden, the band, that's all free. Have at it. People can come and enjoy all that. Star on the Valley has their wine garden again.
The shopping and all of that.
Shopping.
It's still a good reason to get outside. And the weather's going to be gorgeous. It looks like it's going to be 70 and sunny.
Oh, and we have a new addition this year. I'm really excited.
Yes.
The hobby store is doing drag racing on Holiday Street from like 1 to 4, open for whoever wants to come and watch. So pretty cool.
Yeah.
This year, and I got some street performers. We made everything outside. So if you wanted to ask at some point, like, how is it COVID friendly? Go for it, because we've made a lot of weird things. Oh, I got my spirit stick downstairs.
You have a, yeah.
I got my 6-foot spirit stick that's all decorated and tie-dyed, so people can see what 6 feet looks like.
I know. I was talking to Nikki at the Front Row Chamber last week or week before last, and one of the people that had wanted to host a business after hours were really giving her a hard time because they wanted it to be in person. They didn't want to do a virtual one. And she was really worried and nervous about, how do you police that? How do you maintain and manage those when you can't control anybody other than yourself? So I joked with her that she should go to Big Lots and get pool noodles.
Yeah.
And everybody that comes in the door gets a pool noodle because they're only, I think, 3 foot long. But when you have each person has one, that's they're 6 feet. So I said, you gotta think outside the box
That's
on
amazing.
these things.
I'm a little sad I didn't do that.
There you go. You can use that idea for something else.
Again, I'll use it. That's the truth. Yeah,
Okay.
you gotta get creative. So, but yeah, that's grilled cheese for me. We do have our 'Tis the Season information up. If you want a spot for that guy.
Okay.
With the Strasburg Business Alliance for hot cocoa. We are having a parade. I think we're one of the only ones. We are moving forward. Santa's in the house. I don't know if you can sit on his lap. You can probably just wave at him. I'm not can't confirm nor deny the Santa plan, but
Olivia, do you know that for sure about, I have no idea what's happening with the towns I feel like the news about towns is hit or miss in terms of like, have all the towns made decisions about their parades and their Christmas events?
As far as I know, there's still some people are still hovering. I know like Winchester canceled.
Okay.
We are for sure.
Okay.
I know Strasburg for
Winchester
sure.
decided to do a lights in the park thing instead. So they're not doing their parade in the traditional way, but they're doing something over at Jim Barnett Park that you can drive through. And
Yeah.
And here in Woodstock, the Shenandoah County Fairgrounds is going to do something like that, and we'll know more about that in the coming weeks. I just wasn't sure if the towns were doing their Christmas parades and their.
Woodstock should be doing it. They
okay.
Yeah, and because I hate to say it, they haven't changed a darn thing. They've really gone like,
okay. Yeah, they did have Halloween on Court Square, sort of like a modified, sort of time slot situation.
Yeah, so they'll have it. I'm sure it will probably look, because we talk to Katie regularly about like how you were like, what are you doing for the 4th? What are we doing? And they're kind of like, So
we're
that's
having
where I
it.
know they have it to an extent. And the Newmarket was still deciding. So I don't know what they decided to go with.
Well, then what we can do is say that you are the first to announce what you're doing for Christmas. And that way, no matter what anybody else is doing, we can talk about them maybe in December, because this will be early in December, which is usually before any of them have anything anyway, because typically it's always the first weekend in December and then from there on out.
It is.
Yeah, ours is the 5th.
And then, Kary, do you have other stuff?
Yeah, so what I have are Shenandoah Caverns is doing 2 different events that are tastings within and special events within the caverns. So one of them is a Perfect Pair Caverns Tour, and that is November 14th. and they're doing 2 different time slots. So they do a caverns tour plus a pairing. They're doing oysters and small bites and Cave Ridge wines. And then on November 21st, which hopefully you and I are going to, yes?
I'm waiting. Well, now that I have puppies, that's a whole nother dynamic into this nonsense.
That's another level. So that's the Caverns Discovery Tour with Life is Hard Cider. There's going to be cider tastings, and then that's going to be November 21st. There's 2 different time slots, 5 and 7, and I think that's the one that's the candlelight tour. So we're going to get to experience it in the same way that the brothers did when they discovered the caverns.
Yes,
100 years ago.
All right,
and then the third
I
event
wrote
that I have
down because I did a quick search. The Christmas market at Star in the Valley is happening. Well, I was trying to find the details for the grilled cheese on Facebook, so I just did a quick Facebook search, events in Strasburg, and the Christmas market at Star in the Valley came up in that search result. So they're doing that again this year.
I believe that falls on Small Business Saturday.
It said 11, 27, 28, and 29.
Yep, Small Business Saturday weekend. So, and we'll have some things downtown too. I don't know. We can mention Small Business Saturday as our big push. Support local.
Yay.
This is.
Yep. Yeah, and definitely if you have the details of that, Jana, if Jana and Olivia, if you guys will talk about that, because I don't have that written down right here, the Christmas market and the Small Business Saturday. And then the last thing I have is a Thanksgiving feast at the Copper Kettle at Bryce. They're just sort of offering both takeout and dine in for a Thanksgiving meal. That's the only thing, the last thing I have for the month of November.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead and we'll knock the first segment out, and it'll be all about Olivia. I know that's a stretch for you, but try and work with me here.
Are we talking all of them, or just grilled cheese, or like?
We'll do just grilled cheese the first segment, and then we'll come back, and then we'll get into the broader of all the other things in the second segment. Does that work?
Yes.
Okay.
Works for me. Do I need to be wearing my mask too?
She's just doing this for the video.
I love it. I love it.
And then I'm going to take it off.
All right. Hello and welcome to the Valley today. I am your host, Janet Michael. It is Tourism Tuesday as you are listening to the show today. We, however, have pre-recorded our conversation on the Zoom screen on a Monday afternoon. I am staring at the full face of Kary Haun from Shenandoah County Tourism. However, I'm only just staring at half of a face of Olivia Hilton from the Town of Strasburg. She's going to be with us today talking about the grilled cheese and tomato soup festival. The part of the prerequisite for this particular show was that we're going to post the video of our conversation on the station's YouTube channel. So you'll be able to see all of the hard work that Olivia put into getting her background, her grilled cheese and tomato soup t-shirt, her tie-dye mask she was wearing a minute ago. So thank you, ladies, for giving me a highlight on an otherwise chaotic Monday afternoon.
Thanks for having me, Janet. It's nice to be here always.
So, Olivia, I swear it feels both like you were on the show 100.5 years ago talking about last year's grilled cheese and tomato soup festival, and yet it feels like it was just a couple of weeks ago. I guess that's pandemic brain for you.
It's a 2020 time warp. Is what
it's a vortex. So, grilled cheese and tomato soup festival. What year is this? How many years have you been doing this now?
Oh, I was like, it's 2020 again. No, this is our 4th annual. So, whopping 4 years, which is crazy. It feels like it just keeps growing, and hopefully one day we'll celebrate our 100th. I just think we're going to keep on rolling. So,
did you have any idea 4 years ago when you came up with this crazy idea? I mean, I'm sure a lot of people looked at you and said, that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And probably just as many people said, oh my God, can we do it tomorrow? But did you have any idea 4 years ago that this was going to really take off the way that it has?
So luckily, I actually came in right after the first one. So in some ways I get 0 credit, and in some ways I get some credit of growing it. But Michelle gets the credit for wanting to create something that was typical, like a kind of made you feel like a music festival. So that's why the tie-dye came, which is really random. And she's like, you just want carbs and, it's
It's a great fall festival because
Yeah,
there
yeah.
are certain things, like I'm one of those people, my husband says it's weird, I think it's normal, that can't eat ice cream in the winter because if it's cold outside, I can't eat something cold. But then again, I'm also the same person who, even if it's 112 degrees outside, I'm still drinking my coffee hot. I don't do iced coffee. But
Yeah.
grilled cheese and tomato soup, I mean, this is the season for it.
Yeah. Well, and so, yeah, when Michelle had the first one, it was March. So I joined in on April after the first year. And so we moved it then to November. So we actually had it that first year twice in the first year, just so we could shift it to the first Saturday. It'll always be the first Saturday of November. So it's grown. We sell out every year. So the first year, I think she hit 200 to 300, I would say 300 people. And now we sell out at 1,000. So, and it's easy to get there.
And you have to do tickets and have, and COVID aside for a second, you have to do tickets and have people buy tickets because you aren't just dealing with the restaurants that are located in Strasburg. You have outside vendors who come in and set up and do grilled cheese and tomato soup, and they got to know how many people they should be expecting. And that's why you do tickets, right?
Exactly. Yep. So it's really all about the restaurants. You know, if you're not familiar with hospitality or how the food and beverage world works, you want to put your order in typically a week ahead of time. So we'll get most of the way there, but I just gave them a call today so that they know that we've sold out for this year. And I mentioned in our pre-show that this year will be closer to 700, just with it being the way that it is. But we wanted to stop a week ahead and just give them time to prepare. But we do have surrounding neighbored eateries come in as well as our restaurants. So, but yeah, it is about 4 blocks it covers downtown.
And just because you can't get a ticket now to participate in the actual tasting part doesn't mean you shouldn't come downtown, because the tomato soup and the grilled cheese is only one piece of this entire thing.
Exactly. So the hub is the Strasburg Square right downtown. And we have a wine garden from Star in the Valley. That is throughout the whole day. The event's 11 to 4. We also have a reggae band that came up from Harrisonburg. So you can come and listen to the tie-dye tunes while you're hanging out. We have tie-dye actually in the square. So you can either bring what you want to tie-dye or purchase things to tie-dye. And then we also, down on the end of Holiday Street, we have Strasburg Hobbies is doing a drag race from 1 to 4. So during that day, you can go and watch the little mini cars racing. So those are all open to anyone who wants to come. It's just a tasting ticket is what you pay for. So, yep.
Okay, I'm laughing because you said in the pre-show, which by the way, you'll be able to watch on the YouTube channel, but you said in the pre-show about a drag race. I thought you meant with like real cars. I thought you were shutting down an actual street and there was going to be a drag race of real cars. I had no idea you meant the little car.
That's fair. I did not mention mini cars in the first. So that's my bad. Yeah, actually, I should call them. Who knows? No, but I'm pretty sure it's mini. We should be.
But there's a lot of stuff going on that day. Even if you're not a grilled cheese and tomato soup fan, you guys have some really good restaurants up and along the main drag there.
Oh yeah, we do. So we'll have 9 participating. And so a lot of our local ones, Box Office, Old Dominion, Jalisco, South Forno's Italian, our new Pancake Underground. It's their first year being in their new location. So they're really excited. And we have, well, I guess since I've mentioned 5, I should go ahead and shout them all out. Strasburg Farmers Market is joining it again this year. As well as the Strasburg Emporium is going to be cooking. I love it. I found that out today.
Wow.
So they were like, how much do we make? And I'm like,
That's awesome.
awesome. So we have those guys joining in. And then Shenandoah Valley Golf Club is coming in from Front Royal. So they'll have their catering truck out in the square. And so I believe that brings us up to...
I lost count. So we'll just say, yeah, that's everybody. And then during the break, you can go and double check and we'll give them an extra shout out in the second half if there's somebody that you forgot. But I love it too, because it's one of those things where anybody, like you just mentioned, Strasburg Emporium. I mean, grilled cheese and tomato soup is not, you do not have to be a culinary expert to make grilled cheese and tomato soup.
Yeah, exactly. Also, Roaming Bistro food truck is who I forgot. They're doing the drag race side of things. So you can actually go up and just order regular food from them too. But yes, anybody can participate. We've had, we were going to have the fire department and some other just nonprofit organizations that are going to shift and do something else. But really anybody that wants to make it ooey gooey and sweat it out over a hot oven all day is more than welcome to come.
And is it too late for somebody to say they want to participate? I'm guessing it is, since we're recording this on a Monday. People are listening on a Tuesday, and it's this Saturday. So it's probably too late, not only to get a ticket, but too late for somebody to say, hey, we want to come make some, or you're
If
looking at me
somebody
like
out there is like, this is our calling, you just call me. Oh, I printed the map still Thursday. Everyone will always, they'll always be happy for another tasting. But if you do need a ticket, you only walk around the streets trying to poach them from strangers is your only option at this point.
scalping grilled cheese and tomato
Scalping
soup
tickets,
tickets.
yeah.
Oh my Lord, it's a whole new high. But there, like you said, there's live music, there's wine tasting going on. All of the shops, I'm guessing, will be open. Some will probably even be doing some special deals because, you know, the holidays are here, whether we like it or not. You and I joked in the pre-show that we're skipping Thanksgiving and going right to Christmas. Now's
Yeah.
the time to start doing some Christmas shopping and support local.
Definitely. All of our businesses are open. We have probably 25 involved. So Clementine Vintage will actually be hiding rocks on Friday. And if you bring one of the rocks, you get a discount. Nancy's Sugar Creek, they're having samples. So there's the hobby stores doing. So there's all kinds of things throughout downtown that you can do as a part of the event as well. Lydia's is selling their scarves for $1, you know, so you can go and support. It's great. So yeah, it's definitely open for anyone. Especially in that square space, just because it's the tie-dyeing and the music, and it's just, you know, it's just a community feel. So we wanted to make it happen this year, even though it's a little 2020 is weird, but we wanted to make it happen.
But most of it, you were telling me earlier too, is outside. So the COVID precautions that you have to take are a little bit easier because it's going to be, the majority of it's going to be outside.
It is, yes. So we worked with each of the restaurants. If they don't have a way to have a different entrance and an exit, they're either serving outside, or the volunteers that are posted from our team are going to keep a set amount of people to go in, we'll let them come out, and have like a rotation. So we're encouraging masks. All the volunteers will have that tie-dye mask on that I was representing, sir. And we're asking that folks do the same when they're not, you know, if they're not able to socially distance. So that's important, right? We got to take care of each other. So while everyone else is getting fat and happy, your due diligence, do your thing. So keep your mask on unless you're eating. So we wanted everything to be outside.
And where can people get more information if they're listening and they've lived under a rock for the last 4 years and didn't even know this was happening? Where's the best place for them to go to find out all of the details we were just talking about?
Well, hit us up on Discover Strasburg on Facebook. So if you are on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, we're under Discover Strasburg. And you can direct message us for more information or just keep up with all the upcoming events, or my email or the Strasburg website. You can kind of track us down. I'm Olivia Hilton again. So if you wanted to track me down, by all means, have at it. And I also forgot to show you our trophy.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So let's go to break, because when we come back, I want to ask, oh my Lord, I want to ask you about the prizes, because I know you went to get your best sandwich and best soup, and now that trophy is something to behold. People are definitely going to have to go to the YouTube video to find this trophy. But let's take a break, and we come back. Give me a rundown on how that works and who won last year, who is trying to retain their title. And then Kary, I know you've got a couple of other things that are going on throughout Shenandoah Valley, some wine tastings, cider tastings, and the Christmas market at Star in the Valley. So can we talk about all of that in the next segment?
Sounds great.
Okay. We're going to do all of that in just a couple of minutes. Hang in there. It is Tourism Tuesday as you are listening to the show. We have pre-recorded, of course, on the Zoom screen on a Monday afternoon. I am Janet Michael. We are chatting with Kary Haun from Shenandoah County Tourism and Olivia Hilton from the Town of Strasburg about the Grilled Cheese and Tomato Soup Festival and a bunch of other stuff happening in Shenandoah County. Hang in there. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
Perfect.
Ta-da!
Cool. It's hard not having the timer. I'm like, what am I talking about?
Well, and it's funny too, because this is not my normal laptop that I use to record. It's in the other room, but the time says it's 3:33, but the Zoom says we've been recording for an hour and 38 minutes. So Zoom knows it's 2:00, but it's like, I'm looking at this going, wait, why is that extra number in front? That's not supposed to be there.
Weird. Yeah.
I might need to reboot is maybe what it's been sitting on the kitchen table only being used for Zoom for weeks now. So
I love it.
All right. So we'll come back. I'll have you tell me about the awards, how they work, and then do the details for when it is and everything that's going on as kind of like a quick wrap up. And then Kary, I'll bounce over to you and we'll talk about all the other things that are happening. And then we'll come back around to the Christmas market and Small Business Saturday. and then wrap up with those as the
Perfect.
last things. Does that make sense?
Great.
Yeah, cool.
Works
Could you
for
also
me.
do that little drop of, I forgot to mention the street performers. So they'll be throughout downtown as people walk around.
Okay. So yeah, make sure you add those in when we come back.
It's
All
cool.
right.
Yeah, we got the guy doing the free poems. We have somebody do rapping and someone doing guitar, and then a magician, and then like Chase from Paw Patrol. It's random. They're fun.
All right. Welcome back to the Valley today. I am your host, Janet Michael. It is Tourism Tuesday as you are listening to the show today. We, however, have pre-recorded our conversation on a Monday afternoon. It is Shenandoah County's turn at the Tourism Tuesday mic. So we are chatting with Kary Haun from Shenandoah County Tourism. Joining her is Olivia Hilton. She is with the Town of Strasburg. And Olivia, I always forget what your title is because I just want to call you the grand poobah of fun. Because every time you come on the show, you're talking about really cool events and stuff.
I don't know how you knew that, but that's exactly what's on my business card.
You're getting new ones printed tomorrow, aren't you?
So I am the CDC, Community Development Coordinator.
Okay, there are some days that maybe that's not a good thing, but we'll go with it today.
Yes.
So we were talking a lot in the first segment about the Grilled Cheese and Tomato Soup Festival. It's happening in Strasburg this Saturday. As people are listening, you can't get a ticket for it anymore, but you can enjoy it for free. So you can come downtown to Strasburg and have a blast on Saturday anyway. What time is it happening from?
It is 11 to 4. You get the whole fun for the whole 5 hours.
Easy peasy. And then right before we went to break, you pulled out this trophy that, people are going to have to go to YouTube, and I'll put the link to this particular video on the show notes page. But go to our YouTube channel, search for the River 95.3. You'll find the Valley Today playlist where several videos of these Zoom conversations are, and you'll be able to see this stellar looking trophy.
Pretty good.
But so, how does somebody win the trophy? Are there different categories? I mean, how does that work?
Right. So everyone who tastes get a button, official judge button. And so they go and they drop their ticket off at each tasting location. And at the end, they come back to the square. They put their handy dandy vote in one of these 3 boxes: best sandwich, best combo, which is the big boy, and then best soup. So soup has the same trophy, but just a little tomato. And the sandwich
Doesn't have the sandwich on top.
A little sandwich. Yep. So the best combo gets both. Also, Far Out Awards, they have the coolest things. They make everything. This is toasted bread.
Nuh-uh.
It feels actually, the other one is squishy. Yeah, totally worth it.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
and for the record, those were not my puppies. That was Carrot. That was Kary's dog. I'm so glad it's somebody else's dog in the background this time instead of mine. So thank you for that, Kary. I appreciate it. So Olivia, who won the awards last year? I mean, is there like this big competition between these guys to be the reigning champion and to win year after year?
There is, I think there's definitely some healthy competition. Box Office Brewery won our best combo. They still have their trophy right in the lobby. And Old Dominion Doggery is a little bit upset because they got best soup, but they wanted best combo. So, but they actually put the soup on their menu. They didn't have any soup, and it became a favorite in the community, and now they put it on the menu. So you make change by voting.
Yeah, who knew? And of course, as today is airing, little side note, you better go vote. Today is this is truly the last day. Early voting aside, mail-in voting aside, today is really the last day to get your vote in for all of the people that are running for local and national offices. So, Kary, it's got to be easy for you from a Shenandoah County overall tourism perspective when events like this happen in Strasburg, because they're fun events and it's a great thing for you to promote to get people to come into Shenandoah County.
Well, we just have the best towns and the best people running the towns and the best people on the committees and in the positions that create events for our towns. Olivia and Katie and Amber, they just they knock it out of the park with every event that they put on, and it really makes our job so easy in the tourism office because we are so proud to promote the events that they put on. So I mean, like, how can you beat the Tomato Soup and Grilled Cheese Festival? That's just, it's the most creative food festival that I can think of, and witness how many people sign up for tickets and how it sells out every year. So if you need proof. So anyway, yeah, we're just thrilled, and we just love working with Olivia and Amber and Katie, and we all have so much fun together. But really, the hard work comes at the ground level, where Olivia is working and making those contacts and having people call and ordering tickets and making sure there's enough food. And I don't know, I'm so excited about it. I'm excited about it every year. And besides, it is soup season. I have a pot of soup going in the kitchen right now, and I'm excited about tomato soup because it's the best. And oh yeah, you've got your soup too.
See, I'm a chicken noodle girl.
So
we're gonna need another festival because I'm a chicken noodle kind of girl. I like my pasta, unless you do tomato soup with some sort of noodles in it. Although maybe I'm giving away somebody's secret recipe here. I guess it's possible.
That sounds good. That sounds so good. It all sounds good. And when it's warm and yummy.
So, Kary, a couple of months ago, you had on, and her name is escaping me right now, but someone from Shenandoah Caverns, and they were talking about the different tastings and things like that were going on. Are they still doing those? Are they happening in November as well?
Yes, as a matter of fact, there's a couple of different events at Shenandoah Caverns, and you're thinking of Melissa Wynn.
Yes.
And she's the marketing director there at Shenandoah Caverns, and they are putting on a couple of really, really great events in November. One of them is November 14th, and they're selling tickets for two different slots, one at 5 p.m. and one at 7 p.m. And what this is we'll start with the November 14th one. It's called the Perfect Pairings. And the last time they did it, it was a wild success. They had Cave Ridge Vineyards doing wine tasting, along with their chef that they have at Shenandoah Caverns, who does a lot of catering, as well as the work for just the Shenandoah Caverns Cafe. He is an amazing chef, and he is doing all of the sort of small bites. And so again, the last time they did this, it was a really great success. This time for the Perfect Pairings, they've added in oyster tasting as well. So they have somebody coming from the Eastern Shore to bring in oysters for the tasting. So they will have oysters, which I love, as well as some small bites prepared by the chef, and then Cave Ridge wines. So you can go to our website, visit shenandoahcounty.com, look at the events calendar. We have a brand new events calendar set up, so you can click on that particular event and then follow the links directly to get tickets. The tickets are $75. For the tastings, you get a tour of the caverns, plus a stop, multiple stops along the way to taste oysters, small bites, and wines.
Nice.
Well, so that's November 14th.
Speaking of soup, I am an oyster stew kind of girl, even though my husband laughs at me that really all I'm eating is a warm cup of milk, because I don't like those floaties in there. He's all about eating the floaties in the oyster stew. I just like the milk with the crackers and the flavoring of oysters.
Now, are you the kind of do you like raw oysters?
No.
No?
No, but I've never had one, which is, my husband's biggest beef with me is that my first answer to anything is, oh, no, I don't like that. And then he says, have you ever had it? I'm like, no. Well, then how do you know? But that's a whole marriage. Our entire 20 some odd years of marriage has been me always saying no first, and then him making me try something, and then living with the, I told you you'd like it kind of thing. But yeah, oysters, if I could eat them with my eyes closed, they just look so gross that I'm not sure I could watch myself eating them.
It's definitely something you have to be brave to try. And yes.
Shenandoah Caverns is doing the candlelight tours. We were going to go and do that a couple of months ago, and then I think our schedules got mixed up and I wasn't able to do it, but they're doing that in November as well, aren't they?
Also in November. That's November 21st. And that one is, they're doing a tour at 5 o'clock and at 7 o'clock. And the interesting thing about that tour, now I have been down that cavern so many times, for photo shoots and various other things that we've done for the tourism office. So I feel like I know it really well. But the coolest thing about this tour, and I'm super excited about it, it's going to be a candlelight tour. So they're not going to be flipping the lights on and all the big colored lights and bright lights like they do when they're giving the regular tours. Everybody's gonna have a candle, and you're going to see the caverns the way that the original finders of the caverns who were two young boys, and you get the whole story about the two young boys who found the caverns and explored them by candlelight. So we'll get to do that. And I think that you and I are planning on doing that together on the 21st. So also two different time slots for that, 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock. If you're going to the caverns, you want to make sure that you're wearing something to stay warm. I mean, I know it's gotten cold outside, but definitely like down in the caverns, it's jacket weather because it stays at a cool 55 degrees all the time. And you'll see all of the formations by candlelight, and there will also be food as well as tastings of Kindred Point's Life is Hard cider, which I'm also really excited about because I've grown to really, really enjoy hard cider.
Well, and these days life is hard, so it checks so many different boxes.
This is so true. So tickets for that event, again, like you can go to the Caverns Facebook page or to their website, and there is a place where you can click on buy tickets, and that'll take you to a ticket purchasing website. You can also get to that through our events page. Visit shenandoahcounty.com, go to events, and you can find that. Tickets for the hard cider tasting and the candlelight tour are also $75.
And I know I joked earlier that we were skipping Thanksgiving and going straight to Christmas, but we're not really skipping Thanksgiving because it's an eating holiday. That in my house, Thanksgiving is an eating holiday, and it's when we eat things that we probably don't eat any of the rest of the year because I'm not slaving over a stove to fix all of this food like I do the one day a year with Thanksgiving. But if somebody doesn't even want to do that, Copper Kettle at Bryce has got them set up.
Yes, they do. So they have two options for anybody who wants to just kick back and just get some food and not have to do like the great big, sweat in the kitchen deal for Thanksgiving. So option one is a dine-in option. You can get a 4-course plated meal instead of their usual buffet. And then their second option is just to pre-order your meal for takeout. So their menu, I'm just going to read off a couple of their menu items. It sounds really delicious. Getting me excited for the Thanksgiving season. They're doing a country salad with house dressing, cream of asparagus soup, turkey breast crown with garlic and herbs, buttery mashed potatoes, cornbread stuffing, sweet potato casserole, and a Brussels sprout cheesy bake with rolls and pumpkin pie.
Okay, now I'm hungry. I've had Ruffles potato chips for lunch. That's pretty much my diet these days. What I can eat hiding in a corner from the puppies is how and when I eat these days.
Well, let me give you the times for that. The dine-in times are 1 to 6 p.m. on November 26th. And then the takeout pickup times are from 11 to 12:30. And you can just go to Bryce's website, bryce.com, or you can go to our website and look at our events and get to it that way to reserve your spot or your order.
Awesome. And I know we had a whole bunch of other stuff that we were going to talk about, but we're running out of time. So here's what we're going to do. Olivia, 'Tis the Season is happening in Strasburg. You guys are the first, I think, that I know of in Shenandoah County to make the decision to move forward with some of your parade and stuff. What is happening with that? What is the date for that?
Sure. December 5th, it's going to be happening. Check out Facebook or the website. It is already up there and loaded, but we'll have the parade, a mistletoe market in the morning, hot cocoa connections where you can get sample-free cocoa from nonprofits locally. So we are sticking to it. It'll just look a little bit different than usual, but yes, check it out online.
And then give me a quick rundown one more time. Grilled Cheese and Tomato Soup Festival, daytime, and all of the stuff that I can enjoy while I'm there.
I love it. Grilled Cheese, November 7th. It's this Saturday, 11 to 4. Hit up the Strasburg Square to either get your ticket if you've already purchased it or to enjoy the space if you haven't. The music will be there. The wine garden, Star in the Valley has their wine garden there. They'll also be doing a weekend for Small Business Saturday where they're going to be having their Christmas market up there. So come and get a sneak peek on the 7th. And we'll have all the restaurants downtown, eateries, street performers. We're going to be having a magician walk throughout downtown, live music on the corners as well. So as you're going and shopping and exploring Strasburg, you can have a little bit of extra to really make the day special and enjoy the beautiful weather we're supposed to have this weekend.
And Facebook is the best first place to start for more details?
Yeah, and then strasburgva.com.
Awesome. And Kary, what was the website again with the events calendar for everything that's happening up and down Shenandoah County?
Yep. Visit shenandoahcounty.com and then just click on the events tab at the top.
Fantastic. Well, we are going to wrap up our conversation today for Tourism Tuesday, Shenandoah County edition. We have been chatting with Kary Haun from Shenandoah County Tourism and Olivia Hilton, the grand poobah of fun for the town of Strasburg. I'll have links to all of that up on our show notes page, along with the link to the YouTube video, which as I'm watching, I'm noticing that the sun has changed and now I'm in the dark, but the sun is shining on my pothead sign that, for the record, has a coffee pot on it. So not to give anybody any crazy ideas. So when you're watching, go, what happened to Janet? I could see her at the beginning, and then all of a sudden she was dark. Yeah, it's the sun and this time change, which has completely messed me up. I will be back tomorrow. I'll have a brand new episode of The Valley Today ready to go for you. Nikki Kales is going to join me from the Front Royal Warren County Chamber of Commerce. I believe we are talking to the owner of the new toy store in Front Royal. So meet me back here just a few minutes after noon, and I will have that show ready to go for you.